The next award recipient is the K. Jacobs Award. MASA's K. Jacobs Memorial Award recognizes excellence in leadership and involvement provided to MASA and other educational organizations by a female administrator. That recipient this year is Laine Larson, Superintendent from Brainerd Schools. I've had the chance to get to know Laine a little bit better through her leadership and membership in MASA. And I consider her a colleague and someone who I talk to as we talk about different lenses on leadership in the state of Minnesota, Metro versus Greater Minnesota. And in that role, I think she's a great colleague. During her 38-year career in public education, Laine has focused her leadership effort towards enhancing, promoting, and providing equitable teaching and learning opportunities for all students in her districts. Laine has served as superintendent in the Brainerd Public Schools since 2016. She was previously the superintendent of Bagley Public Schools and Thief River Fall Public Schools. Prior to her superintendency, Laine served as a teacher, assistant principal, and assistant superintendent. I'm going to read a quote about Laine that spoke to me and describes who she is to her employees and colleagues. Laine not only dedicates herself to the big needs and issues, she dedicates herself to the little things that make a huge difference in the lives of her students and staff. That's Heidi Hahn, Assistant Superintendent for Brainerd Public Schools. She's an experienced, ethical, driven, and compassionate leader that demonstrates and possesses more grit than any other leader I have had the privilege of working alongside. I'm humbled and honored that I get a front row seat to learning from her and being mentored by her. In my experience working with Laine, I think that's absolutely true. Laine, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you. It's not coming on. So, thank you. Am I on?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I'm humbled and grateful to be selected for the K.E. Jacobs Memorial Award. Picture this. It's the summer of 1975, and I'm sitting courtside in my basketball jersey at the Wahpeton Wildcat basketball camp, when a motivational speaker stood in front of the bench of WNBA wannabes and said, "The talents that you have are a gift from God, and what you make of those talents are your gift back to God." Although I never became a great basketball player, in fact, I was mediocre at best, I learned a memorable lesson that day that has stayed with me for a lifetime. And it's a reminder of the responsibility that we have to our future. As Minnesota educational leaders, we must strive to become the best practitioners we can be, to learn lessons from those around us, to guide, influence, and mentor future leaders, and to leave our world a better place because we were in it. My message today is one of thanks to the people who have done just that for me. I begin with my mom and dad, Marilyn and Arlen Bloomer, who valued education to a point that they saw to it that both my brothers, Brian and Ward, and I all became college educated and are able to live our dreams. To my husband, Warren Larson, who has stood alongside me and encouraged my professional growth for 36 years. I've taken him around the state in my pursuit of passion for high quality teaching and learning. And to our brilliant daughters, Elise and Lauren, and their wonderful husbands, Brett and Luke. Elise is a lawyer with the Minnesota Center for Environmental Advocacy, and she has taught me to be a strong advocate for making the change that we need to see in the world. Lauren is a second grade teacher at Moorhead Public Schools and previously with Detroit Lakes Public Schools, and a future Minnesota administrator. Lauren brings me back to my roots, back to the classroom, and she renews my passion for educational excellence every day. I began my career as a family and consumer science teacher in Bagley, Minnesota. My mentor, Jan Fiel, actually taught me how to teach and how to touch the life of a child forever. During this time, I completed my master's degree in special education and received my administrative licenses. I served as principal with Don Nordland, who taught me the importance of equitable opportunities for all learners, and in particular, our American Indian children and our children who lived in poverty. Superintendent Gary Bradfold encouraged me to continue my administrative work in preparation to take over as superintendent someday. These people, along with many colleagues at Bagley, helped me through to learn to be a great professional, but they also helped me through 2 devastating breast cancer diagnoses. At 37 years old, I was faced with the possibility of not seeing my little girls grow into intelligent, productive difference makers. And I was faced with not being able to lead schools on behalf of all Minnesota children. Oh, the lessons I learned from my caregivers, my medical teams, family, friends, and you, my colleagues. Because of you, I do not take one day or one child for granted. In 2009, I was hired as the superintendent of Thief River Falls Public Schools, where the Board of Education, our leadership teams, and our incredible staff completed amazing work on behalf of our kids. We partnered to provide equitable education, to close the achievement gap, and we all participated in the Minnesota Principals Academy. We passed an operating levy referendum and a voter-approved facility bond project in partnership with our community. During these first 10 years as superintendent of schools, I am forever appreciative of my colleagues in Region 8. Bruce Jensen and my colleagues at the Northwest Service Co-op, you do incredible work in Northwest Minnesota, and it is a privilege to have served with you. Currently, I'm the proud superintendent of Brainerd Public Schools, where I have the privilege to work with 6,700 students, 1,300 staff, and in 13 buildings. Our district strategic plan focuses on closing the achievement gap, research-based professional development, special education, career and technical education, 21st century learning environments, and more. Our dedicated Board of Education has publicly committed to equity for all learners through a district and community-wide effort. It is a privilege to work with our team, our board, Assistant Superintendent Heidi Hahn, Corey Reynolds, our incredible administrative team, our incredible teachers, staff, and community partners. Once again, I am surrounded with outstanding colleagues at Region 5, and our partners at Sourcewell are leading the educational challenges and excitement of Central Minnesota. Throughout my career, I've needed help. I've needed support, mentorship, and friendship. Because as you all know, the work we do is not easy. I've enlisted support from MASA in every step of my journey. Thank you to Dr. Deb Hinton, to our MASA team, to Dr. Amoroso, Dr. Kite, and all of my many friends and colleagues. You are the leaders who have helped to guide my success. I often tell our teams, if you want to do anything significant, you can't do it alone. It takes the right team at the right time, working in partnership to make a notable difference. And my career is evidence of this. I could not have done any of this work alone. I was surrounded with the right teams at the right time. You, my friends, are my WNBA championship team, and I am most grateful and honored to accept the K.E. Jacobs Memorial Award on your behalf. Thank you.